Hi, I'm Angela and welcome again, and this is the third video in our video series, and this video specifically talks about how do we preempt any of the six objections, either the satisfied objections or the no benefit objections. How do we preempt them from ever even coming up? So if you know those six objections, you know they're always going to be manifest one of those six in some way, shape, or form, then you know how to design your questioning and dialogue with a client or prospect to ensure that you do the best you can to avoid those landmines, right? So we're going to walk our way through the 21 question CNA. We won't cover that today. What we're going to cover today is the foundation that begins to set up a business conversation with this client or prospect. If you immediately jump into the media sandbox or even the marketing sandbox, guess how they see you? As a media rep, as a marketing rep. You want to actually work toward the top rung of the ladder, which is an advisor, a business advisor, an advisor to them on how to shape their future within their organization. That is not a media conversation and it is not a marketing conversation. It's a business conversation. And it's dealing one-on-one with that person and that particular person's worldview, their perspective of what needs to happen in order to get them from here to there. And you're going to hold their hand and walk them across that bridge to get them from here to there. So here are some of those foundational questions to begin to elevate that trust factor, help you be seen, help you see yourself, and there in turn have the client or prospect see you as a true partner, as a true advisor. It's always more profitable to be in that role than to be in a media or marketing role. So with that, here are some of those questions. Certainly there's small talk and hello and beautiful office and I've been a customer here, I love shopping here, whatever that those open introductory comments are. When you get into your real questions, people will trust you more not by the answers that you give them. This is an absolute promise. It is not by the answers that you give them. It is by the questions you ask them. Why? They already have all the answers inside of them. It's your job. They know their industry better than you do. They've probably been doing it for many, many years, certainly much longer than you have. So the idea is to ask the right question to help them elicit and bring that answer forward, to shine light on opportunity that they're so close to it every day they may not see. So you're giving them this outside point of view. It's invaluable. All right. What does success look like? If we were sitting around this table, it's a year from today. What would have to happen between now and then for you to be really happy with the progress in your business? Not in your media and marketing and advertising, in your business. You see the difference? So what does success look like, sir? If we were sitting around this table, for example, it's a year from today. What would have to happen between then and now, between now and then, for you to be happy with the progress within your company? Let them answer. So in order to have that happen, do you believe that you have a good story to tell? Do you believe that people will want to know your story? Let them answer. Of course they believe they have a good story to tell. And you could even follow that up by saying you probably have 1,000 good stories to tell. One of the things we're going to talk about during our partnership together, again, you're seeding that you're going to be working with them long term, is the ability to crystallize those stories and determine the ones from a priority standpoint that will resonate the most in the marketplace, and with your employees, because of course your employees are your first line ambassadors, your advocates. So do you have a good story to tell? Do you believe, particularly in today's world, do you believe that word of mouth is still important? More than likely they're going to say, oh yes, absolutely. And of course we know that it is. I mean, look at TripAdvisor and Yelp and all of the online reviews and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, right? So word of mouth is critically important, and it can be disseminated faster and more perniciously if it's bad word of mouth than ever before in the history of the world. So word of mouth, critically important. All right, so with that, here's the accompanying question. If we did a survey out to your employees first, and then did a survey out to the marketplace. We asked 100 people on the street. Your company is fill in the blank. So you would say the name of the company. Let's say you're with Jefferson Community College. If we were to do a survey out into the marketplace and of your own students and student body and employees, and we said Jefferson Community College is fill in the blank, what do you think people would say? They might have a tough time answering some of these questions. There's a very good chance this is one of the first times they've ever been asked some of these questions, or been asked them in a while, certainly been asked them by you. So give them time to think, help prompt them if they need it. So with that, thinking just your gut feeling of what people would say and what your own people would say about you, what business do you really believe you're in? Are you in the higher education business? Is that really the business that you're in, or is it something different? Get them thinking about this, because you're almost always going to have clients are going to see themselves, we're in the healthcare business, we're in the lawn care business, we're in the higher education business. Not true. What you want to do is you want to get to the why. Why is someone paying money for that particular product or service? It isn't because of the actual product or service. It's the benefit, not the feature, the benefit that that person's seeking is the reason they're paying money to get it. So get them thinking a little differently and seeing themselves a bit differently about what business are they really in. They don't have to answer it. If they're struggling a little bit, just say, well, let's earmark that. Let's come back to that. And then you move on. And there's just 2 more questions. Let me ask you something about the competitive marketplace today, because in so many cases it's things are more and more commoditized and difficult to compete. Do you believe, for you, is life for your business, is life for your business today more competitive or less competitive than it was, say, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago? And let them sit and think and answer. Is life for your business today more competitive or less than competitive? Less competitive than it was, say, 3 years ago or 5 years ago? They're going to say yes. You could follow that up and say, do you think that competition will continue to rise or will lessen? Okay, so what you're doing right now is you're building a sense of trust in them, that you're going to help them overcome these speed bumps. You've got to bring out some pain. Otherwise, they can't release it. They can't move beyond it. They can't get unstuck from where they are unless there's enough pain. So, because they're satisfied, they will stay in that place. And then the final question, do you believe a company's ability to adapt, to embrace change, do you think it's more important or less important for a company's ability to be able to embrace change, to be adaptable? They're going to say more. And why is this important? Because what you're going to be introducing to them is going to get them unstuck from their satisfied and no benefit objections. You've got to get them agreeing with you that change is all important, and embracing that change is all important to the future vitality of their company. Does that make sense? So here they are again. What does success look like if we were sitting around this table, say, a year from now, and we were talking about your progress? What would have to happen between now and then for you to be happy with the progress, with the growth of your company, or whatever that may look like? Maybe it's more profit, maybe it's added locations, but can you get as specific as possible what that would look like? Because obviously your role at some point is going to feed that back to them and say, I'm going to help you get there. I can help you get there. The next question is, do you believe you have a good story to tell? Maybe you've got 100 good stories, 1,000 good stories. Do you believe you have a good story to tell? Is it a story worth telling? You think the market will care? Okay. The next one is, if we did a survey, do you believe word of mouth is important? Yes. If we did a survey then out into your employees, your current customers, and to folks out on the street, just from an awareness standpoint, and we had them fill in this blank. Name of the business. Your business is Jefferson Community College is blank. What would they say? What would your sense be that they might say? And here's the other piece of this. It's likely you could follow up with another question, by the way, and you could say, how consistent do you think it would be from what you would want them to say to what they might say? Do you think there would be random responses? Do you think that there's a crystal clear story that the market and your students and your employees undoubtedly know? It's as though you scripted it. Okay, well, that's what it should be. Word of mouth should be written the way you want it to be written. You want to write your story, not let someone else write it for you, right? The next question is, what business, therefore, knowing what we just talked about the power of word of mouth and what people naturally are already saying about your company, what business do you really think you're in? Do you think it's the higher education business? And if they can answer, and even ideally you don't want them to answer because you want to be able to create that with them, right? The next question, is life for your business more competitive or less competitive today than it was, say, 3 years ago or 5 years ago? You want them agreeing, yes, it's painful, it's more difficult, it's more competitive, profits are shrinking, whatever they might say. And then the final one, do you believe a company's ability to adapt, to embrace change, is more important today or less important than it has been previously? And do you think it will become more so important, a company's ability to adapt and embrace change? All right, those are the foundational questions. Those will open up and begin to set the tone that you're not there to immediately jump into selling them some products that will help them advertise. All right, so the next section that we're going to be talking about in video 4 are beginning to get into that. Once you've set the foundation, walking your way into marketing first before media. Marketing before media, okay, and then media, and then coming full circle to message, crystallizing the story. I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on how the responses that you get from laying some of these trust foundational questions. Good luck!